Welcome to Chicago and our workshop, Navigating Grief, Healing and Growing from Loss. I'm Dr. Elaine Dispo-Rendón, aka Dr. DR, and you just met my emotional support animal, Annie. I'm an AIHCP certified grief counselor with specialty in pet loss support. And we also have my friend and colleague, Dr. Jaime Rodríguez, aka Dr. Doc Rod, who is certified in mindfulness through the School of Positive Transformation. Today, we'll cover self-care techniques to help us process our grief, which has come in many forms during the pandemic. So please make sure that you have your smart devices, such as a smartphone or a tablet, in handy. Thank you.
Now that we've introduced ourselves, our agenda will kick off with a Padlet question in the next slide. So this is where your smart devices come in to scan the QR code. Then we'll mainly touch on the following self-care techniques that will help you and anybody who is important to you through the grief process since the pandemic. We have mindfulness, which involves meditation, fitness with light exercise, and gentleness to embody both positivity and activities. Last but not least, we'll have a Q&A session to answer any of your questions and field any of your comments. Grief can be for loved ones, relationships, careers, health, and goal setbacks. And feelings associated with grief include anxiety, depression, and fatigue. Problems imposed by grief include changes in appetite, energy, focus, and drive. Two types of grief include anticipatory grief, which is dreading an upcoming event, and disenfranchised grief, which is grief that is not acknowledged by society, such as baby or pet loss. Grief can be resolved by pursuing peace through mental and physical healing, as well as emotional health.
In the form of meditation. The purpose of meditation is to train our mindsets towards calmness. Now, there's no wrong way to meditate as long as we're comfortable and free from distractions. It does take some practice to reach our goal of being able to train our mental focus. Now, you start off by retreating to a place that is not going to take your mind away from your you time in order to achieve that contentment. And you also may want to set aside time during the day that is dedicated to meditation exclusively, whether it be at the very beginning when you wake up to set your intentions, or a midday break for a breather, or towards bedtime to help you doze off and fall asleep. You can start off with guided meditations such as apps, including Headspace or Calm or Insight Timer. Our wearable tech also comes equipped with helping us meditate, including on this Apple phone or Apple Watch, with the mindfulness app that gives you breathing exercises as well as reflection prompts. The handout with Jaime's and my contact information includes meditation examples from the Headspace app and the series on Netflix and the YouTube channel. And Jaime also has come up with his own meditation exercises for you from his School of Positive Transformation. Different meditation exercises can include deep breathing, where you count the amount of seconds inhaling, holding your breath, exhaling and holding your breath again, as well as counting your blessings through gratitude. In addition to body scanning, where you shift your mind to different parts of your body in order to be aware of how you are feeling in that moment in time. Jaime is going to guide you through a meditation right now. So go ahead and take it away, Jaime.
There are three meditations that continuously practice. One of them is a focused body scan, because during this time, it is sometimes difficult for us to make it through the day without feeling something. It's getting out of bed, or going to bed, or getting off your seat, or wanting to do something. And so you explore your body and how it feels, and you allow yourself the time to reflect with regard to your body. The second one then is, of course, a meditation for dealing with grief. And it's important, though, that as you're dealing with, as you're going through these meditations, people sometimes ask themselves, well, I don't know how to do it. And I don't understand it. And really, it's just a way to get yourself in a different mindset, to allow yourself to relax from the stressfulness of what you're going through. And so then you say, well, I start off really good, but then I wander off. The thing is that we're not told is it's okay. Wander. Let's come back. And once you come back and you practice, and like anything else, practice, you get better. But most of us, I used to do, because I would do it, and then I would find myself like, you know what? I know what I need to do. I need to do that, such. And so I thought it was a great time for me to make my list. And so that's what it became. And so my meditation time became a time for me to make my list and really focus on what I was doing. So don't see meditation as sometimes, as we're told, it's just you sitting there, because it doesn't have to be that. It could be the walking meditation. As I walk to you and walk to the side, I could be contemplating something within my head, my relaxation, my thoughts. So this in itself is a walking meditation. But not only that, it could be in other forms as well. So it could be with music in the background. It could be something that takes you away. So it's not just your mantras where you sit with your legs crossed and on the floor, because you don't have to be sitting on the floor. It could be standing. It's wherever you feel most comfortable. Just keep that in mind. And it doesn't have to be with your eyes closed. By all means, keep your eyes open. But take yourself away. Allow yourself to focus on an object, maybe across the room, and just contemplate. And you'll see yourself letting yourself go. And the idea is, again, is to let the stress go for that time period. And so that's basically what it is. It's allowing yourself to let that stress, whatever experiences you may be going through that are bringing some negativity into your life, to just dissipate for a short time. And so here's where if you're not healing, and maybe you're working through and growing from the experience. So again, meditation, we're dealing with grief. And the third one I thought was also nice. Coronavirus relapse. Why not, right? We're all experiencing, we're all going through this, so why not? So, do we want to try something early this morning, or are we good to go? Okay, well, how about meditation for dealing with grief, since we have that in common? Let's see where this gets us. And remember, there's no right way to do it, and there's no wrong way to do it either. So whatever you feel most comfortable with. So here we go. Welcome to this meditation for dealing with grief. Grief can be overwhelming, but this feeling does not last forever. One of the most difficult experiences in life is losing a loved one. So please, close your eyes and let us begin this session. Draw in a slow, long, deep breath. Feel the air coming into the lungs, and as you exhale, let all your tensions melt away. Our life is like the ocean, and the ups and downs we experience are like the waves. Grief happens to everyone. So learning to ride the wave of grief is very helpful. Breathe in deeply and say to yourself, I can handle this, even though I feel like I can't. We handle things and learn from them by moving through them. Allowing ourselves to fully feel our emotions lets us move through them. On to the next phase of life. Breathe in deeply again. As you exhale, let go of any stress. Another thing to remember is that grief is very tiring. So be easy on yourself during these times. Do not expect yourself to have a lot of energy. That's okay. Take in another long and slow deep breath. And exhale, letting the tension melt away even more. Now bring that loved one to mind. See them in perfect health. In a time that you remember as good. What were you doing together? Perhaps you were laughing, or cooking dinner, or out on an adventure. Really immerse yourself in this memory of delight. You will never get over the loss of a loved one. They will always remain in a special place in your heart. And when you grieve them, this is simply a natural response to how much you love them. Now imagine hugging this loved one. And imagine saying, I love you. Please be with me as I move on from the loss of you. Good. Breathe in deeply again, feeling the fresh energy of their love coming in, and breathe out. Relaxing, knowing that your loved one never dies in your heart, that you're always there. So whenever you need them, just close your eyes and imagine they're there in front of you and say whatever you need to say. This is a wonderful way to grieve. Whenever you are ready, open your eyes.
For our physical health, in the form of light exercise, I want to brief you on my own weight loss journey since grief. Now, I've had a history, well, both Doc Rod, Jaime, and I have led active lifestyles. Jaime has been a head tennis coach when he worked for the school district, and I used to be a personal trainer and have run a full marathon in addition to several 5Ks. However, after I lost my first pregnancy with my baby Angel, I tipped the scales at my maximum weight. And I ended up losing 25 pounds before the coronavirus hit, but unfortunately, I lost my oldest cat, Asia, at the age of 14, and my second miscarriage with my baby, Divine. So I almost um, hit my maximum weight again. But since then, I'm proud to say that I have a success story milestone that I just reached at 45 pounds lost in the past 6.5 months. So my goal is to lose 50 total by my birthday in a month. So we'll see if that happens, but what really matters the most is that we do take care of ourselves physically, emotionally, and mentally. And in terms of physically, we can through light exercise at the very least during our grieving process. Now, when I went through my miscarriages, I looked up workouts on YouTube that can help with pregnancy loss because, of course, since there's so much trauma on the body and the mind, it may not call for something really strenuous during that time. And a bunch of yoga videos came up. So, yoga paired with meditation, like what we just went through, could be a good combination of both mental and physical exercise concurrently. And we can also walk with mantras or special sayings or prayers to just keep the body moving but not too fast. We don't want to put too much pressure on ourselves during grief. Even if we did have a high health standing before grief, since it is a life-changing experience and can be very devastating, our own threshold for being able to tolerate a lot of exercise may be a bit limited during that time. So we don't want to put too much pressure on ourselves. If we want to push our limits, it may be a good idea to seek consult with our primary care physician and see if that is in our best interest. But in the meantime, we're recommending light exercise such as yoga and walking, in addition to maybe even dancing, not a full-fledged high impact cardio workout, but just dancing to get the flow, have some good music that can lift your spirits and cheer you up. I know after my first pregnancy loss, when my husband and I attended a Christmas party after burying Angel on Dia de los Muertos, which is All Souls Day, after miscarrying in Halloween, it did, make me feel a bit happy to be on the dance floor with my husband, even doing line dancing like the Cupid Shuffle or dancing around Valentine's Day at Angel's grave, stuff like that. So we want to make sure that we do keep our bodies active while we're grieving, because if we're stuck in a rut and in bed and not able to get up, it's like we're losing hope. And we want to make sure that we keep going, even though it can be difficult. If we lost somebody who we loved, exercise can be a good way of dedicating it to that person or that pet who you so cherished. And Jaime is going to tell us a bit more about another research-based exercise that we can reap benefits from during grief, which is called Tai Chi. And the handouts actually feature a woman who looks a lot like me with dark hair and glasses. So hopefully you'll enjoy that handout and Jaime's take on it.
One of the things I did want to do is I did want to make sure that we provided you with a handout of something that was low impact for you, something that allowed you again to bring in that aspect of the meditation where you spend yourself time with yourself, maybe reflecting on if not anything than the moods that you're going through. And so I chose something that was research-based, and so the Tai Chi here, if you can go through it, there's been a lot of research with regard to the benefits of Tai Chi and health benefits. So I think if your moves that you follow through, again, you see the breathing in, the lifting of the arms, the breathing out, the lowering of the arms, and so we see that it takes you through this process of something that you would go through a meditation.
Now, last but not least, we will cover gentleness for our emotional health. And we hear Annie meowing in the background and will help heal our hearts through both positivity and activity in terms of our emotional health. Because we can be very sensitive as a result of trauma and devastation. So, in order to treat our damaged emotions gently, we must purge negative self talk and dodge toxic communication. We also can mend our hearts during our mourning journeys by taking up hobbies that call for us channeling and challenging our own creativity, whether they involve visual arts or culinary arts. For example, when Jaime and I did field research at La Lomita, which is a mission chapel in our home of the Texas Rio Grande Valley along the border, we swung by Barnes and Noble, where he came across this mindfulness journal, chock full of coloring activities. And here's La Lomita right here. And also writing prompts. So this did help me during the summer since Angel's due date. Then I wrote my first book and started my foundation in name of my baby Angel, which was the result of this brief communication book here. The following year, which is actually this year, my husband and I partnered up with our cookbook of memorial recipes, and it really helps to be married to a corporate executive chef. Now, I also have another book in the works on the way for Annie's birthday, so I have it drafted over here so far with the manuscript almost done. And other examples of writing or visual arts can come in the forms of drawing, coloring, painting, sculpting. Painting examples include these painted rocks over here, and even cultivating a memorial garden, which Jaime and I both did in memory of our beloved fur babies who were with us through finishing school. We also have our good share of handouts from Jaime today, and the supplementary materials include a writing article in addition to the mustard seed story and more giveaways from Jaime that he is going to tell you about right now.
There's a variety of things that, again, when we talk about gentleness and positivity, the coloring, the art, again, we go back to being the research space, the idea of coloring, sure, it takes you away from those stressful moments, something that is repetitive, something that sets up a pattern that allows you to then focus in on something maybe necessarily coloring outside the lines, but coloring within the lines, within the boundaries of something. It allows you to, step away from your grief and grow from there. So there's a couple. Life on Earth, discuss on it. Affirmations, definitely. For those of you who might have a younger one, a book of mindfulness. I have several of Peter Reynolds' artwork, road not taken. But then Elaine touched upon the idea of journaling and the variety of ways you can journal.
Today we covered sources and forms of grief, as well as how we can heal and grow from our losses through mending our mental, physical, and emotional health. Speaking of which, here is a set of marigold seeds for our Marion garden, because marigolds symbolize the Day of the Dead in some of our cultures. Hopefully, you feel more confident now to navigate through your own mourning journeys and guiding others through their own. We thank you for joining us and are open to addressing your concerns both throughout this presentation and while we wrap it up. Our bios are in the write-up, and now let's enjoy Chi-Town.